The Waggoner, Canto 1st William Wordsworth. 'Tis spent this burning day of June. Soft darkness o'er its latest gleams is stealing. The buzzing dorhawk, round and round, is wheeling. That solitary bird is all that can be heard in silence deeper far than that of deepest noon. Confiding glowworms, 'tis a night propitious to your earthborn light. But, where the scattered stars are seen in hazy straits, the clouds between, each, in his station twinkling not, seems changed into a pallid spot. The mountains against heaven's grey weight rise up, and grow to wondrous height. The air, as in a lion's den, is close and hot. And now and then comes a tired and sultry breeze with a haunting and a panting, like the stifling of disease. But the dews allay the heat, and the silence makes it sweet. Hush, there is some one on the stir. 'Tis Benjamin the Waggoner, who long hath trod this toilsome way, companion of the night and day. That far-off tinkling's drowsy cheer, mixed with a faint yet grating sound, in a moment lost and found, the way announces by whose side along the banks of Mere he paces on, a trusty guide. Listen! You can scarcely hear. Hither his course is bending. Now he leaves the lower ground, and up the craggy hill ascending, many a stop and stay he makes, many a breathing foot he takes. Steep the way and wearisome, yet all the while his whip is dumb. The horses have worked with right good will, and so have gained the top of the hill. He was patient, they were strong, and now they smoothly glide along, recovering breath, and pleased to win the praises of mild Benjamin. Heaven shield him from mishap and snare. But why so early with this prayer? Is it for threatenings in the sky? Or for some other danger nigh? No, none is near him yet, though he be one of much infirmity. For at the bottom of the brow, where once the dove and olive bough offered a greeting of good ale to all who entered Grasmere Vale, and called on him who must depart to leave it with a jovial heart, there, where the dove and olive bough once hung, a poet arbors now, a simple water-drinking bard. Why need our hero then, though frail his best resolves, be on his guard? He marches by, secure and bold. Yet while he thinks on times of old, it seems that all looks wondrous cold. He shrugs his shoulders, shakes his head, and, for the honest folk within, it is a doubt with Benjamin whether they be alive or dead. Here is no danger, none at all. Beyond his wish he walks secure. But pass a mile and then for trial, then for the pride of self-denial. If he resist the tempting door, which with such friendly voice will call, if he resist those casement panes, and that bright gleam which thence will fall upon his leaders' bells and mainies, inviting him with cheerful lure, for still, though all be dark elsewhere, some shining notice will be there, of open house and ready fare. The place to Benjamin right well is known, and by as strong a spell as used to be that sign of love and hope, the olive bough and dove. He knows it to his cost, good man. Who does not know the famous swan? Object uncouth, and yet our boast, for it was painted by the host. His own conceit the figure planned, 'twas colored all by his own hand. And that frail child of thirsty clay, of whom I sing this rustic lay, could tell with self-dissatisfaction quaint stories of the bird's attraction. Well, that is past and in despite of open door and shining light. And now the conqueror essays the long ascent of Dunmail Raise, and with his team is gentle here as when he climb from Mere. His whip they do not dread, his voice they only hear it to rejoice. To stand or go is at their pleasure. Their efforts and their time they measure by generous pride within the breast. And, while they strain, and while they rest, he thus pursues his thoughts at leisure. Now am I fairly safe tonight, and with proud cause my heart is light. I trespassed lately worse than ever, but heaven has blessed a good endeavor. And, to my soul's content, I find the evil one is left behind. Yes, let my master fume and fret, here am I with my horses yet. My jolly team, he finds that ye will work for nobody but me. Full proof of this the country gained. It knows how ye were vexed and strained, and forced unworthy stripes to bear, when trusted to another's care. Here was it on this rugged slope, which now ye climb with heart and hope, I saw you, between rage and fear, plunge, and fling back a spiteful ear, and ever more and more confused, as ye were more and more abused, as chance would have it. Passing by I saw you in that jeopardy, A word from me was like a charm. Ye pulled together with one mind. And your huge burthen, safe from harm, moved like a vessel in the wind. Yes, without me, up hills so high 'tis vain to strive for mastery. Then grieve not, jolly team. Though tough the road we travel, steep and rough, though Riedel heights and Dun Mail raise, and all their fellow banks and braes, full often make you stretch and strain, and halt for breath and halt again, yet to their sturdiness 'tis owing that side by side we still are going. While Benjamin in earnest mood his meditations thus pursued, a storm, which had been smothered long, was growing inwardly more strong, and, in its struggles to get free, was busily employed as he. The thunder had begun to growl he heard not, too intent of soul. The air was now without a breath he marked not that 'twas still's death. But soon large raindrops on his head fell with the weight of drops of lead. He starts and takes, at the admonition, a sage survey of his condition. The road is black before his eyes, glimmering faintly where it lies. Black is the sky and every hill, up to the sky, is blacker still sky, hill, and dell, one dismal room, hung round and overhung with gloom. Save that above a single height is to be seen a lurid light, above Helm Crag a streak half dead, a burning of portentous red. And near that lurid light, full well the astrologer, sage Sitterfell, where at his desk and book he sits, puzzling aloft his curious wits. He whose domain is held in common with no one but the ancient woman, cowering beside her rifted cell, as if intent on magic spell. Dread pair, that, spite of wind and weather, still sit upon Helm Crag together. The astrologer was not unseen by solitary Benjamin. But total darkness came in, and he and everything was gone, and suddenly a ruffling breeze, that would have rocked the sounding trees had aught of sylvan growth been there, swept through the hollow long and bare. The rain rushed down the road was battered, as with the force of billows shattered. The horses are dismayed, nor know whether they should stand or go. And Benjamin is groping near them sees nothing, and can scarcely hear them. He is astounded, wonder not, with such a charge in such a spot. Astounded in the mountain gap with thunder peals, clap after clap, close treading on the silent flashes and somewhere, as he thinks, by crashes among the rocks. With weight of rain, and sullen motions long and slow, that to a dreary distance go till, breaking in upon the dying strain, rending o'er his head begins the foray again. Meanwhile, uncertain what to do, and oftentimes compelled to halt, the horses cautiously pursue their way, without mishap or fault. And now have reached that pile of stones, heaped over brave King Dunmail's bones. His who had once supreme command, last king of rocky Cumberland. His bones, and those of all his power slain here in the disastrous hour. When, passing through this narrow strait, stony, and dark, and desolate, Benjamin can faintly hear a voice that comes from someone near, a female voice. Whoe'er you be, stop, ampersand quo. It exclaimed, ampersand quo. And pity me. Ampersand quo. And, less in pity than in wonder, amid the darkness and the thunder, the Waggoner, with prompt command, summons his horses to a stand. While, with increasing agitation, the woman urged her supplication, in rueful words, with sobs between the voice of tears that fell unseen. There came a flash, a startling glare, and all seat sandal was laid bare. 'Tis not a time for nice suggestion, and Benjamin, without a question, taking her for some wayworn rover, said, ampersand quo. Mount, and get you under cover. Ampersand quo. Another voice, in tone as hoarse as a swollen brook with rugged course, cried out, ampersand quo. Good brother, why so fast? I've had a glimpse of you vast. Or, since it suits you to be civil, take her at once for good and evil. Ampersand quo. Ampersand quo. It is my husband, ampersand quo. Softly said the woman, as if half afraid. By this time she was snug within, through help of honest Benjamin. She and her babe, which to her breast with thankfulness the mother pressed. And now the same strong voice more near said cordially, ampersand quo. My friend, what cheer? Rough doings these. As God's my judge, the sky owes somebody a grudge. We've had in half an hour or less a 12 months terror and distress. Ampersand quo. Then Benjamin entreats the man would mount, too, quickly as he can. The sailor now no more, but such he had been heretofore. To courteous Benjamin replied, Ampersand quo. Go your way, and mind not me. For I must have, whate'er betide, my ass and 50 things beside. Go, and I'll follow speedily. Ampersand quo. The waggon moves and with its load descends along the sloping road. And the rough sailor instantly turns to a little tent hard by, for when, at closing in of day, the family had come that way, green pasture and the soft warm air tempted them to settle there. Green as the grass for beasts to graze, around the stones of Dunmail raise. The sailor gathers up his bed, takes down the canvas overhead, and, after farewell to the place, a parting word though not of grace, pursues, with us and all his store, the way the waggon went before.